Hey everybody, I got asked to do a video about how to make a bench harness for your cluster, since some people have seen my videos about putting the blue LEDs in and whatnot and how I powered it up. So I thought I would do that, and I thought that could be helpful for everybody. Making a bench harness for this cluster is pretty much the same as making a bench harness for anything else. You're going to need, you know, your pigtails, of course. You know, you can get these at the wreckers. I paid, I think, maybe $5 for both of these. They'll let you go in and cut the stuff off. Generally, I don't know about your wreckers, but here they're okay with that. You know, as long as you tell them what truck you got it from and everything, and give them the part number. So I used this. I didn't bother making this in any professional way or cleaning it up, just because I had to use it for maybe 2 jobs, and for my purposes, I knew what was going on. So, but since I was asked to do a video about how to make this bench harness, what I'm also going to do is show you guys how to properly depin these things, which is removing the wires instead of just cutting them off, because that's kind of unprofessional in my opinion. But you know, I'm not judging anybody else for what they want to do. And yeah, I mean, how often you're going to need something like this? So that's why mine look like this. But this just doesn't help anybody, you know. I'm not going to, hey, here, use these wires and there you go. So I'll do my best to show everybody as much as I can. I don't have a tripod, so some of this stuff needs like 2 hands, and I can't really hold a camera and do that. I'll try and set something up, but I'll do my best to show everybody what's going on here. So first thing you're going to need if you're going to make a bench harness for anything is, again, the pigtails. Go to the wreckers, find the ones you need, cut them off. Pay the man $2.50, $5, whatever they're charging there, and it shouldn't be expensive. You're also going to need a pinout chart, which is generally, for these 3rd generation Rams, pretty simple to find. The service manuals are out there, and I really highly suggest that you get a service manual for any vehicle that you own, because they're just so handy if you intend on fixing anything yourself. They've got, I mean, everything, man. They've got the, you know, the pinout charts, how the electrical, the diagnostics, things like that, procedures you can go through to test stuff. And one in particular for my 05 Ram is about 4 books and I think 9,000 pages. So that's the kind of thing that you want to go for. If you can find a pinout chart in one of those Haynes manuals, I guess go for it. But if you want my opinion, I can't stand those fucking things, and they aren't worth the paper that they're printed on. Because every time I've tried to use one or looked at one, they generally have inaccurate information, or it's just some real basic shit that you didn't even need the manual for, or some of the procedures are wrong. But like I said, that's just my opinion. If you like those, then go ahead. But anyway, let's get on with this here. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove these wires from this harness. Now, if you want to do this, your best friend in the whole world is a set of these right here. These are depinning tools. They're not expensive. I think these were $25 or whatever on Amazon, Canadian. So I'll link these below. And even if you don't do a whole lot of depinning or repinning of connectors, these are great to have, because like everything's there, every size. You're not rushing around trying to find a pin or a pick or something to stick in there to get the pins out, especially if you've got something like this that is, you know, needs 2 tabs depressed to remove. So let me just try and set something up here so I can at least show everybody and use both hands. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, let's see if this setup will work here. So, the first thing, I guess, let's get these out of the way for a minute, is your pinout. Now, I will post this in the video so you don't have to look at the paper and try and figure it out from there. But cluster C3, that's the gray connector. So that's our gray connector right there, and that's looking at it from that side, and that's your pin. So this right here would be pin 1 on the far left top row, and then bottom row down here right side would be pin 26 right in here. So what we need is, now I've already got these tied together, so I already know which ones they are, but for everybody else's educational purposes, we're going to need, for the power, pin 23, 24, 25, and 26. So that's going to be 26, 25, 24, 20, you know, let me point here. 26, 25, 24, 23. And even though they look different, Let me get that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. All right. This is weird. Weird angle. 26, 25, 24, 23. Right in there. So there's what we need for our power. And I've already got those... as you can see, I'd already had those ones divided. So, how we're going to repin this is you got this little white cap right here on that one, and then I might break this by accident, but I'm not really too concerned, to be honest. Let me just take a look at this quick. Yeah, there's little tiny tabs. Focus. I don't know if you can really see them. It's not focusing very well, but there are little tiny tabs right up here, and you will now give me a sec while I figure this out, because I don't want to break it. I want to show people how to do this right. Okay, so they're just little locking tabs that are sitting at the top up here. Very hard to see. I can't really see it on my screen. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Not very well. You can kind of see them there. So, I guess though you don't really have to push those in. You can just get a thing under here carefully and pry it up, and you'll see at the other side here. There, and you can see it's now popped up, right? So that releases the pin locks. If I push it back down, you see it just snaps into place. So we'll just pop that back up. That's it. Just a little click. You don't have to pull it all the way out or any further than that. Alright. So now we want to get rid of all the other stuff in here. So I'll first isolate a wire so I can pull on it and apply pressure when I need to. And let's find the right tool here. This one might work. So what you'll do is you'll take your tool and you'll shove it into that hole, I think, right here. Shove it into that hole, and some of these aren't that easy. You just gotta figure out which one might not be the right tool. Yeah, give me a sec. Let me figure out the right tool. Alright, I got it figured out. Had the right tool, wrong hole. My girlfriend hates it when I do that too. So, it's this one up here. This hole is the pin release. So, I don't know if you can see it. You really got to look in with some light. In there with some light. But there will be a little plastic tab. So what you're going to do is you just stick that in there a little bit. And then lift up. Kind of go down at an angle and... Oh, Jesus Christ. Of course, now that I'm doing this on camera. It's a little harder to do when you're trying to manage with the camera too. Alright, so try to keep everything in focus here. Goes in, you lift up. No. We'll get there, boys. We'll get there. Yeah, I'm using the wrong tool again. Wrong tool, right hole. Huh. Maybe. Doesn't matter. You just got to get under that little fucking tab in there. There we go. So you get the tab, it'll slide right out. So let's see if I can do another one of these on camera. Well, my cat's off being an asshole. Second one in under the tab. I swear I can do this faster. Let's try and get it in frame here, first of all. There we go. So you're just gonna stick it in that release hole, lift up on the little tab and slide them out. Which can sometimes just be tricky to find. Or not, even if you're in the right one. Should be that one right there. Yep. Yeah, so it'll be above the pin. Again, I'm not really sure if you can see this, but I can't. I'm at a different angle than, so you can see kind of down there, and you see the little plastic tabs right in here. Those are what you'll have to lift up to release the pin. So I'm going to go through and let's see if we can pull another one out here for you guys. Try and get this one in better frame. Right, so you're holding on that. Which one am I at here? This one? This one. So, and there you go. Just like that. Just go through and pull out the unnecessary ones. Told you you can do it quicker when you get the hang of it and know where you're going. You just gotta find that right hole, boys. Just gotta find that right hole. Some of them still want to be a pain in the ass. But as you can see how handy these tools are. And this fucking mess off the side here. What? Oh, look what I did. I went and unplugged a whole bunch of wires I needed. It's alright. I'll get this sorted out. I'll be back. Put these back in the right spot. No big deal. Give me a minute. Okay. After much confoculating, I think I have managed to simplificate these here connectors. So, it turns out you really only need actually 8 pins. And that's how you get it powered up, and that'll let you do the cluster self-actuator test. So, on your white connector, you're only going to need pins 2, 13, 14, and 26. And on the gray connector, you're only going to need pins 13, 23, 25, and 26. So that pretty much, I mean, that's as simple as it gets right there. I just wanted to make sure everybody could see without all the bunch of wires. We got those pins pulled out. So you just hook all your grounds together, hook all your positives together, and then power it up. Hook it up to your power supply. Alright, so turn it over. And this is a junk cluster. This is one I just use for parts or pieces or whatever. But when you apply power to it, come on, you get your illumination so you can see all your lights. And I'm feeding that with 14.5 volts as it would be charging or whatever. However, this is going to be tricky to do. I'm going to have to use a foot here to turn this on, and then you can still do the sweep test if you hold down your odometer button and give her power. Yeah, and you can let that go, and if there was needles on there, it would sweep them around. But it shows you all the lights are lit up, so you know the dealership hasn't been messing with lights or anything. It'll show you C codes, which there's going to be a lot of, because it's not hooked up to anything. So there's no power or whatever. Yeah, just shut that off. So if you turn her on, I'm not sure if this one, yeah, it still says no bus. There is a way to hook it up. There's a couple of pins that you can apply power to that'll just give you lights, and it'll show an odometer reading without saying no bus. But it won't allow you to do the actuator self-test. So these are the bare minimum 8 pins needed to get a bench harness made. So generally, I mean, I'm just going to leave this like this. I've used this twice, and I really don't have much of a need to use it again. I like once more, I'm going to make a couple of tweaks. But generally, if I was going to be using this more frequently, I would solder these wires together to a single wire. Just to like a single lead. And probably put some kind of maybe split loom on it, wire loom, just make it look professional and do a good job. Maybe put a couple of connectors or something on the end there so you could just plug it into, say, a battery pack if you're at the wreckers looking for something. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And I will link to these depinning tools down below, because these are an invaluable tool for any electrical type of work with having to do with connectors. So I think that's about it for now. Any questions, ask below. If you liked the video, subscribe, you know, so you're notified. Hit the bell too, so you know when I actually put out a video, because I mean, quite frankly, I don't have a schedule, and I kind of just make videos as necessary, at least for the time being. So remember, guys, if you like it, like the video, let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching, everybody.